But we have businesses associated with it. We have a safari thing going on. We have a dairy farm, and we have an artisan group where the women make things that are traditional decorations in Kenya that they can sell here in the United States. And we help them sell those where. And so we have several different businesses. And the one I went to at retirement, of course, was the dairy. And this is the dairy. Our team is there with some of the students in agriculture. And here's a high school that teaches agriculture in Kenya. But they were out in the dairy farm while we were there, learning about dairy farming, what goes on. And that's our team. And of course, you can see Trey in the background and one of the other team members. But this is the dairy manager, and it was so good to see him. He caught on to how the cow should be milked. And so now he's explaining to the people who work there in Swahili, because they didn't understand anything we said. And this is the neat thing about these trips I take these students on. They go into another country, whether it's an animal nation or Kenya. They go to another country where there's a different culture, where there's a different language, and they learn to deal with those things. They see it all. And so here this manager, it finally clicked on him how those cows should be milked. Everything they knew about the dairy industry, they got from YouTube. Can you imagine? And so here I walk in as a specialist, and I start telling him, look, you're doing these cows all wrong. This is what you need to do. It clicked with him, so he goes over to Swahili, and this is the cow's udder. You see, and he's talking about how to clean that udder before it's milked. So it's an interesting process. You see it happen, and the students got to write the programs and all that we left behind. So they milked a lot of them by hand, and they also had a milking machine. This is a little barn, and they had to put them in the barn to keep them from stealing. Now this is poor country, so you have to shut them up at night, or they might not be there the next morning. But here's the milking machine they had, and so we were teaching them how to milk these cows. Cows all had names, and they could go to the door and call, and the cow that had that name would come up. They fed in the farm, and the cow would come up, they'd milk them, feed them, and they would die. And so it was next to impossible to get them to cull anyway. You know, sell a cow, even if she wasn't doing well, because they all knew they were friends. So there I am before the facial hair, before COVID. You know, why was it because of COVID? COVID response. And this lady over here on the far right again is the field director there. The safari. We took one day to go on safari. The reason I mention this to you is it's nothing to do necessarily with ministry, because it does pay someone into the ministry when you pay for the safari. It's not expensive, very inexpensive. But we went to Masai Mara, one of the top safari areas in the world. It's owned by the Masai people. And the Masai people are nomadic, and they have sheep and goats and cattle, and they walk around with them through these areas that have all these predators. I mean, there were lions, there were jackals, there were hyenas, all around us. But they walk around with a little spear and a red cape. And they move those animals through, and I said, how do you keep them safe? He said, we watch the animals. The animals know if there's a predator in the area, and we go a different way if the animals are nervous. So they have lived with these animals, and they can keep them safe. And it's the same thing for us. We stayed in camps out there, and that night, the lions love wildebeest and zebras the best. At least that's what they told us. Our warriors told us it. And so that night, the zebras came through our camp. We were out there in tents, and they came through the camp. You see the footprints. But they had stationed a Maasai warrior at each of our tents. And if we were needing to leave during the night, we had a walkie-talkie. We'd call him, and he would escort us back to the main building. And so when the zebras come through, the lions come through. And we could hear them. We could hear them outside the tent. Because at night, the female lions call to each other, and then they gather up in a band, and they hunt. The male lion, they just stay, and they just sit back there and wait for the women to bring the food. That doesn't happen here, right? But we saw all kinds of I mean, every kind of thing. So what we do is reading goals is alleviate physical and spiritual problems. And this is how at the school, there's a boarding school, and with the school, the sponsorship of a person, she gets food, she gets her clothing, she gets housing, and she gets an education, top-notch education. So how much does it cost? What do we call it? $2,100 supplies all that for a student for a year. Can you imagine the United States trying to get that kind of knowledge out of your money? $2,100, buy their food, buy their clothing, houses her, and give her a safe environment and a top-notch education. So the majority of this goes toward the rental building, we don't own the building, but the rental facilities and to the teacher's salary. Those are fixed costs. So the more girls we have, the lower the cost, because the fixed cost is spread over a large number of girls. And the only thing we have to increase is the amount of food we have, and maybe electricity or things like that, up to 120, which is our capacity in that school. Our future plans are hopefully to have other schools. So we don't want to stop here. Just because we reached our goal at this place, we might want to have a school in Tanzania or another school in Kenya. It's doing so much good for the country and for the girls that are there. So we look for church partnerships, small group partnerships like Sunday school classes, individual partnerships, and of course businesses that might want to partner with this process that we're in. And it's wonderful for me. I know the people that do this. You know what I mean? It's wonderful for me to know that my money is spent correctly. I know the people that benefit, and I can talk to them. If I want to talk to the girl I sponsor, I call up a lady named Dr. Crossway, and she's just like me. She's a volunteer, there's no payment. She's a volunteer, and she organizes all scholarships, and she'll set up a Zoom call with you. Now, there's a 7-hour time difference, okay? So you need a Zoom in the morning so that they can be talking to you before they go to bed at night, so to speak. So, I mean, you can't just say, I want to have a Zoom meeting at 5 o'clock when I get off work. Well, they're dead. You know? So, but it does work out for Sunday school classes, for instance, or church service. If you want to have staff there, be on Zoom with your church, and let you see what is happening with the funds that you send. So a full scholarship annually is $2,100, and then we have students that don't need full scholarships. We work with a group called Chariots of Hope, and I'm not sure who they're affiliated with. I should have found out to see if they're Baptist affiliated or not, but they are all orphans. And so these girls that have no options for education, you know, things like school, there's a group of 20 that we enrolled this year. And they come in and all we have to pay is $700 more, because that group sponsored them up to $1,400. And so we've been able to be very efficient with the use of funds and essentially double the size of our school. So if you send me a gift of $100, it will be matched up with some other people's, and we'll end up getting another girl. Paying for another girl. I mean, it has to happen every year, so it's not like, it ends with one donation. So we'll change a child's future and our country's future at the same time. You mentioned Safari. I mentioned Safari because sometimes people are interested in something like that. But we send a lot of service trips over to Kenya. Many before COVID, and not as many since, because flying out to be a little bit of an issue. But if your church wanted to send a team to Kenya, we would host you there in that team house. It's a comfortable place. The weather's always beautiful. I mean, it's in the tropics, like I say, and it's not cold. And you can go on safari while you're there. But you get to know these people you're around. And they'll touch your heart. You'll not come back the same. So I'll leave this with you. be changed, He wants to be more. If you have a heart for other people, it's up to you to change them. Thank you for the difficulty they have. So that's Freedom Global. That's basically what I have to say, except for what I will say to you all. Does anybody have a question? I have outside in the entryway some photographs and personal bios of girls that need scholarships. It's out here on the table. I also have a card. If you're interested, you put your name, address, and email on there, and we'll contact you and let you know how you can get involved if you're interested. And if the church wants to be interested as a group, I've got clients that are on deacons boards at their churches, and the churches now sponsor girls in these groups. And it's really a neat thing to see one of my clients, who has all girls, get involved in this. If anybody has a heart for these girls in the kingdom, somebody has girls. So I'll leave that with you and let you know that as man comes back, you can tell him how bored you were and how long you got, and how nice the sleep was. But it's been fun for me. It's been great to be back here amongst people that I grew up with in a community that I think so much of. I'm here every month. And that's another thing. If you ever have a question about it or want to get in touch with somebody, I'm here every month. I'm not always here on Sunday, but I'm here every month doing something I want to talk about. So if you would, I'll have a prayer and then we'll go into our time of song. So let us go to the Lord now. Holy God, we thank you. We praise you for loving us so well, for your amazing plan of salvation through your Son Jesus, for your grace, which is unmerited favor, for your awesome creation, for being born in America, for this community of believers, for your church, for the opportunities you give us to serve you. We thank you for those who serve. Please continue to shed your grace on us, Lord. Forgive our sins. We do love you. We ask you, please, Lord, heal those who are sick, free those who are oppressed, and feed those who are hungry, and lift up those who are poor. Show us your will for our lives, Lord, and help us to dedicate ourselves to your kingdom and its service. Amen. Thank you very much.
If there's anyone that needs to talk to Sam, I'm sure he'll talk to you afterwards. If there's anybody that would like to,
I'll be here a while.
if there's anybody that wants to talk to the pastor first, that you can call. You have a list of deacons that you can talk to. We're not going to have an invitation or any closing music. And thank you all for coming.